Hi guys! As you probably know, the Halloween just ended. The Halloween was just last weekend, and what we did here in this home, we decided to dress up and, I didn't put as much effort than the rest, so there was no photo of me. But the other ones, they made an effort and they got a photo. One of my daughter was a vampire, the other one was a witch, and then here's my zombie wife. Now, this is not complicated to do. It looks, with a little bit of effort, you can do a lot with very little. I did a video not that long ago that shows you how to shoot a portrait with one light. And you can see that video down in the descriptions. I didn't really add anything except a background light, some light to give the red in the background. So this is still a one light portrait, but two lights to be fair. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you how I shot this, and then I'm just gonna give you a hint on how I edited it. So, this is a setup. It is basically just with one light, even if we are using two lights. One is just for background light. So, let me see. Turn that on. And it's pretty close to the wall now, so the spot is small. And that's not nice. So, the further away from the wall you go, the bigger the spot is. And with these kind of light, I mean, you don't need a lot. You don't need a lot of power here. And what you do need is those scales. This is blue, this is red in front of the light. But this is the fancy type. You can put it, there's a barn door here on the light, and you can kind of slide it in. What happens sometimes, there's a slight light leak between, and so what I usually prefer is to get like an arc of paper and tape it around the modifier, then I get no light leaks. So, but this is what I have. And then we have this light, which we used also in a different video I made like a few weeks ago about one light setup in something you can do in your home with limited space. So I will put the link in the description about that. Here, Conte Christine, let's go. Here is my zombie wife, but don't tell her I call her that. But here we go. So the light is directly behind her. The space I have here is about 4 or 5 meters, and that is enough for like it's not enough for the whole body shot, because I need a space between the background light and the wall, and some space between her and the light, and then I need to be somewhere. So it is, and it has a desk here. It's, the space is limited, so you can do this basically anywhere. So the key light is this. What I want here is I want the light relatively close to her, because the closer the light is, the softer it is. Let me see. So obviously, if it goes too close, you have to bring down the intensity a little bit. But you can put it in the perspective of the sun. If it's midday and the sun is very high up in the air, you get harsh shadow, very strong contrasty light. But when the sun goes down, goes near, it is softer. It's more pleasing. And so that's what I want. A little closer here, and then I will always bring the background light as close as I can. So if I feel like with the kids, I felt like when the shadow here was too black. So I didn't want that for them. So I just used reflector. So I just reflected the light from that to lighten up the, you can see it if I turn the reflector. You don't need a reflector. If you don't have it, you can use a white piece of paper, something that reflects light. This is not expensive. It's like $10-20 on Amazon. So that's the light I used for all of these photos I showed you, with the difference for the zombie shot. I wanted a little more dramatic light, so I kept the shadows on this side dark, and I elevated the light somewhat to get dark eye sockets, get shadows here in the eye sockets for the genuine Halloween zombie feel. So am I forgetting something?
No.
No. She says I'm not forgetting anything, so let's take a look at those photos and in Lightroom. So here we are in Lightroom, and here is my zombie wife, and this is straight from camera. As you can see, it's pretty good. And with one light, and I did put a reflector a little bit here to the on the shadow side to lift the shadows a little bit. It was a little too dark, but other than that, it just looks good. Then I did a slight Lightroom adjustments and went from this to that. And I rarely keep, like you can see, like a magenta tone in her skin. I rarely do that. I do avoid having magenta and green tint in skin. But for a zombie picture, a little magenta just worked out really nicely. So I kept that. But other than that, I didn't do a lot. A little bit of the exposure and white balance, just to keep to get the right tone with the white balance. And then I took the green out, and with the saturation, took the green out. I modified the colors a little bit. You can see the sliders here. These are not huge values. Only the green one, because I wanted no green. And this here color grading, I did deal with the shadows and highlights somewhat. If you don't see that, you might see something that is called split toning. So this is the most recent update in Lightroom, and it's really, really good. I really, really like this. We had that. We had that for a while. We had that for a while in video, this three-way tool, and it is really good, so I recommend it. Then I did, I removed chromatic aberration, profile correction, basic stuff. Then I tuned the camera calibration a little bit. I changed the color a little bit. You can see here to get the right red. Right red is like the red I liked. Yeah, so it's just tiny adjustments here until you're satisfied. So with this, I exported this to Photoshop because I wanted to, there were a few spots in her skin I wanted to deal with, and I just find Photoshop does a better job than Lightroom doing that. I could have done it in Lightroom, but I choose to do it in Photoshop. So I exported this to Photoshop. So here is the photo straight out of that. And let me get this a little bigger. So I removed those those spots like this. Well, not much. And then I just added bunch of sharpness, as you can see. I wouldn't use that much sharpness normally, but being a zombie, I kind of found that to be just what we needed. So that's it. Then I just saved this, and then I had this in Lightroom. I sometimes do slight adjustment in Lightroom after the fact. For example, here I added a little bit of vignetting. I found later when I saw this photo on Facebook, I was looking at it, I found that I might have overdone a little bit. Be careful with vignetting, it's cool, it frames the photo nicely, but too much, it's not nice. So then I just export it from there. And then I had the same process with this. This is with Lightroom, then I adjusted with Photoshop, then I got this as the final result. So all in all, pretty happy with the result, and just more than that, it was just a really fun time to spend a few hours at Halloween. It did cross my mind when I was doing when I was shooting the girls to record it and make this video. Then it would have been a nicer video, but I decided to make it about them, not about YouTube. So here I am making this video after the fact, but whatever does the job. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.